Welcome to New Sky TV. The internet is absolutely buzzing. When The Legend of Jin Chang'an premiered with zero promotion, garnering over 80 million views in 8 hours, many were still asleep, while trending topics were already exploding. Even more dramatic was the surge in the male lead, Yanzixen, a name previously virtually unknown in the Chinese entertainment industry, whose fan count skyrocketed from 300,000 to 2.8 million. The comments section was filled with shock. Was Guo Yuxin igniting his charisma? To be honest, on his own, Yanzixen isn't exactly dazzling. His features aren't the type to be instantly striking. In the crowded field of ancient costume dramas, he's even playing it safe. But whenever he's in the same frame as Guo Yuxin, the visual tension is instantly amplified. The moment their eyes meet, the air seems to heat up. Some joked, male leads who've acted with Guo Yuxin all seem to have been injected with adrenaline on Weibo. While the joke is light-hearted, it hits a harsh truth. You can leverage popularity, but if your charisma isn't there, the audience won't buy it. What truly earns respect is Yanzixen's obsessive effort. For his role in With Jin Chang'an, a character on the verge of collapse yet extremely restrained, he moved into a mental hospital beforehand to experience life there, repeatedly observing the patient's physical details and emotional fluctuations. He worked on 3 film sets in a single day, rehearsing lines until 2 a.m. after finishing work. Even when ordering takeout, he wrote "Thank you for your hard work" in an ancient Chinese tone. It sounds exaggerated, but when the camera zooms in on the restrained look in his eyes, you understand that it's not technique, but a product of experience. Back in 2019, he played a goofy senior in the low-budget web series My Senior, Please Follow the Script. The series was rough, with almost no promotion, yet he mastered the comedic rhythm to its fullest. He studied classic scenes from Stephen Chow's films daily, practiced facial expressions in front of the mirror, and filled 4 notebooks with film analysis notes. At that time, his salary was so low that he couldn't even afford to buy trending topics, but he was already laying the foundation for his future. This time, he finally got his chance. What's even more intriguing is the data feedback. For the first time in 5 years in the ancient costume idol drama genre, acting skill surpassed appearance to become the most popular related keyword. Brands contacted her overnight, and her business email inbox was overflowing. Some say it's ironic. Traffic can be inflated, topics can be marketed, but the emotional collapse in that 1 second on screen can't be faked. Audiences aren't fools. They vote with viewership and rewatch counts. Of course, Guo Yuxin's existence was the fuse for this explosion. She's not simply someone who boosts the male lead's popularity, but rather a powerful chemistry maker. Her performances possess a tension that's both oppressive and intense. If you relax even slightly, she'll leave you behind. So, being able to hold your own against her, and even get stronger as the drama progresses, is proof of her talent. At 2 a.m., while browsing social media, I saw a comment, "This era has finally been fair for once." Where is the fairness? It lies in the fact that opportunity may be accidental, but preparation is never accidental. Yanzixen wasn't a lucky star who fell from the sky. He simply treated every seemingly insignificant role as a decisive battleground. Guo Yuxin isn't a lucky charm either. She simply performs every scene with no room for retreat. The meeting of these 2 people was like 2 lines that had been quietly building up strength for a long time, converging at a certain point in time, and then exploding. The entertainment industry is indeed cruel. You may become a sensation today, but you may be buried tomorrow. But what makes the story so moving is not the 2.5 million new followers, but the reminder to everyone that when capital and gimmicks are everywhere, what truly makes the audience stop is the authenticity of the emotions in the flesh and blood of the characters. Just how strong is this combination? It's strong because the chemistry is not just a marketing term, strong because they worked hard to be seen, strong because the audience is finally willing to pay for their acting skills. The internet will quickly move on, but those days of memorizing lines in the early morning, those scripts filled with annotations, those moments when they were not expected to succeed, will not be in vain. Sudden fame may have a bit of luck, but what can last is always strength. When filming Her in the Dark, he actually went to the psychiatric ward for 2 weeks to prepare for the role of a schizophrenic patient. It wasn't just a formality. He dressed in civilian clothes every day, queued up with patients for meals, took assessments, and listened to doctors talk about cases. He didn't call himself an actor, he just said he wanted to learn something. The assistant director later recalled that one day after filming wrapped, he was still immersed in his role, his eyes vacant and unfocused. The driver called his name 3 times without response, almost thinking something had happened. This kind of self-torture experience is almost counterintuitive in the efficiency-driven world of short dramas. In 2022, he worked on 3 sets a day, finishing at 2 a.m. and then getting his makeup done at 5 a.m. While others treated vertical screen suite dramas as fast-moving consumer goods, he insisted on achieving a cinematic quality, meticulously perfecting lighting, blocking, and depth of field. 500,000+ likes became commonplace, and a saying began circulating in the industry: with Yanzixen's appearance, horizontal screen teams are starting to fear. Fear what? Fear that he would raise the standards. Returning to Jin Chang'an, its success was no accident. The script had a plot twist worthy of a murder mystery, but what truly cemented its legendary status was the longing gaze. In Hengdian's 39 degrees Celsius heat, the two had over 30 takes for the kissing scene. The director advised, "That's enough," but Guo Yuxin's words, "just one more take," instantly created tension. Yanzixen's ears turned bright red, his emotions pushed to the breaking point. The moment the final cut was released, the comments section exploded. "This isn't just a camera trick, it's a life-or-death situation." Some dug up an early interview where he said, "My camera sensitivity is alright. 30% acting, 70% angle." At the time, many thought it was just youthful confidence. But the camera never lies. Within 0.3 seconds, his pupils contracted to perfectly reflect light, his tears stopped just before overflowing. Viewers used these screenshots as wallpapers. That clarity wasn't from a filter, it was control. Ultimately, Guo Yuxin's buff was also bizarre. A teacher from the Beijing Film Academy revealed that she had a strange habit during rehearsals. She would memorize all of her co-stars' lines, deliberately disrupt their rhythm on set, and make them catch a flying knife on the spot. Liu Xiaoxu, Wang Haowen, and Bai Fangwen were all polished by her before truly achieving their breakthroughs. This time, Yanzixen didn't escape either. She dragged him into living with her as a character, rehearsing in costume for 2 weeks straight, ordering food in ancient tones, and not allowing him to break character even in everyday life. Playing games at night, he changed his ID to Jin Chang'an, so and so. Later, he laughed and said, 3 months after filming, I even wrote Donald Scallions, Prince Z in the order notes. Behind the laughter was the after effect of being too immersed in the role. The audience had already been blinded by the expressionless face plus filter. Suddenly, 2 actors who truly treated their characters like real people appeared, and their emotions were naturally ignited. Data platforms analyzed the trending words in the comments, and acting skills surpassed appearance to take the top spot, a first in 5 years in the ancient costume drama genre. This is not a simple traffic reversal, but a counterattack of aesthetics. The brand sense of smell is even more outrageous. 10 days after the broadcast, 5 new endorsements were added. One of the eye drop brands directly copied a netizen's comment with its slogan, "Watching him cry, my cornea resonated." It sounds exaggerated, but it accurately hits the emotional pain point. More subtly, this wave of popularity did not stop at the level of CP feeling. The audience began to watch it a second and third time, dissecting the rhythm of the lines and the pauses in their eyes, and making emotional analysis videos. Some say this is the first time a short drama has been treated as a work of art rather than entertainment. And at the height of the hype, the two remained remarkably low-key. What's heartbreaking is that the person who just became famous was photographed by paparazzi moving overnight, not to buy a house, but to a cheaper place in the East 5th Ring Road, just to be closer to the company and save time memorizing lines. The neighborhood addies didn't know who he was, only remarking, "This young man is quite frugal, even carrying his own cardboard boxes." Isn't that ironic? This is the current state of the Chinese entertainment industry. How many artists have inflated popularity and data, but none have inflated acting skills? Actually, the audience is only temporarily manipulated by bad dramas. Once they taste something truly good, the backlash is faster than any trending topic. Of those 2.8 million fans, how many came for Guo Yuxin's husband, and how many were drawn in by Wang Xiaoyu and the mentally ill character? Ultimately, data doesn't lie. The next 18th tier star wanting a comeback can just copy this. First drive yourself crazy, then bring the character to life, and leave the rest to time. After all, the audience has discerning eyes, but they are too lazy to keep them open all the time. There will always be people who use a fig leaf to fool the market, but as long as something truly delicious comes out, the whole internet will follow up and catch up. To put it bluntly, all of this is both ironic and fatalistic. The entertainment industry's traffic can be inflated, but acting skills can only be solidified. You either have to work yourself to the bone or accept your fate. Thank you for watching the video. See you in the next video. Thank you.